This is Groundeffected. My name is your dad, and let's just do the thing. So when we look at the skin tones, what we notice is that they are all relatively light colors. We want to be able to keep the saturation of these tones, and so painting them over the top of black is not quite the right way. Now you have many ways of skinning this cat. You can either paint it with a white ink over the top of that, which is then obviously a zenithal, or you can do what I do, and I just use a primer. And the reason for this is because it flows very nicely through my airbrush, and it does the exact same thing as the ink does. Now these two characters are available on my Patreon, and it is very obviously Magic and Nami. This is from One Piece, of course, and this is from the X-Men. Nami is a little bit of a lighter skin tone than what Magic is, so I think what we'll do, just for experiment's sakes, is we'll give her a white zenithal and we'll give her a light grey zenithal. Now I know that I said I was going to give Nami a zenithal, and what I'm actually going to do is just paint her solidly white, and it's not going to be a full coverage. I'm going to check this marker against the white marker to make absolutely sure that the white is pure white. But what I'm going to do is paint her pretty much white. This means I'm going to be starting from a solid base color of pure white, and for Magic I'm going to do a zenithal. So if you notice, I'm doing an overall spray. This is spraying going on all the crevasses, underneath, from the top, all around. Everything is getting solidly fully colored with the white primer. Now for the gray primer, I'm going to do a zenithal, which means I'm going to spray from one direction. I want you to notice, I know that my airbrush isn't in the screen whilst doing this, but you can see the spray coming from the one side, and I'm keeping this model in my hand facing one direction only. So the airbrush is only spraying from the top down, and you can see the black in the shadows underneath and the white at the top where the highlight should be. This is called the zenithal. So to make sure that I differentiate the two skins and do two different techniques, I'm going to paint Nami's skin with a solid skin tone color, and then I will try to tint the pink bits that I need and add a highlight on top of a solid color as the base color. And for Magic, I'm going to use the classic pinkle with a red undershadow, and then we'll layer up on top of her skin. Now the purpose of putting a light paint down as the primer layers is so that whenever you spray a lighter color over the top, you're going to get the full saturation. I'll be honest, actually, whenever you spray any color over the top of white, you're going to get technically, it's still going to affect it actually. So you're going to get most of the saturation. Black and white desaturate things. This is why a lot of modelers like to use something like a light gray or a neutral gray, because this will it won't affect your layers too much. But if you put enough layers over the top of each other, then it's not really going to matter, because your undercoats are actually ending up going to be the color that you put down originally. And hopefully that wasn't too confusing for you. But basically, a light coat for very light models, and when we want to try and create a little bit more depth, we're going to keep black in that area. So for example, like how I painted this one with a zenithal, I've left black in the shadows. This is because whenever I paint a color over the top of that, it's going to have a darker appearance than it would if it went straight over the top of white. This means that automatically we're getting dark and light shading without actively trying to force that dark and light shading. That's kind of the point of using a zenithal, and equally also the point of using something like an undercoat like this. So with Nami, I've painted a solid skin tone color, and with this one I'm going to literally paint what I normally do, a pinkle layer, and then also the red in the shadows. This is to simulate the colors underneath the surface of the skin. And what you will notice is that this is Nami's arm now, and we're starting straight from basically a very light sort of yellowy orange kind of color. This is the color that is our base color, so everything we put over the top of this, we're not going to have anything other than that being the shadow in the colors. So I'm still going to kind of use a zenithal technique here, and I'm just kind of spraying. Hopefully you notice that I'm keeping the direction of the model in one direction, and I'm not twisting it around like I did when I put the first layers down. That's because I'm trying to create some highlights now. We're building up the highlights, and the same thing on the Magic body, except for in this case we now actually need to put our base color down, and so I use quite a warm skin tone for this, because even though it would make quite a difference on the model itself, we want to thin it down quite a bit so that we can build it up. You could maybe just do this quite a thick layer and then you're not building it up, but in my opinion, if you do this quite thin, you want to mix 50-50 water and 50-50 of your paint, that's the vibes that you're going for. This helps to give you a little bit more control over the build-up of that color. And basically, now that the base is down, we can move on to a couple more layers on the skin tones for Nami. So on Nami, we want to now start bringing out some of the highlights. So again, what we're doing here is we're still kind of doing the same process where we're building up the highlights, but in this case, we're going to need to address the shadows a little bit later. For now though, we're just going to put in highlights, and we're going to make sure that these are getting brighter and brighter and smaller as we build up the brightness in that color. And I'm going to do that across all the parts, of course. And now is the time that I can address the color of the skin, because if you look at the color of the skin, it doesn't read as much like a skin. If it does, it's something that's dead, because there is no life in that skin, and the life in the skin comes from the pinkness underneath our surface of the skin. And in my opinion, orcish dermis is one of the literally the only ways, and so this, if anything, this gives you an idea that you could literally just paint a skin tone with a highlight and put some orcish dermis in the shadows, and you've got a really good looking skin tone without even trying. The orcish dermis is the magic in this situation. I will, however, be wanting to increase the brightness, so I'm going to use a much brighter skin tone. And if you don't have all of these colors, I will tell you that skin tones, they are mixed up of red, yellow, blue, and white. So basically it's all the colors, but not to confuse you, but the white is the important one to bring out of this, which means we can increase the brightness of it by adding a little bit more white. And also yellow would increase the brightness, but that's getting too confusing. But white will get you a much brighter color in order to give you those highlights, which we'll talk about in a sec. But for now, the saturation of these colors, because of that white, is taken away as you build and put more and more white into it. So to bring that color back, I put a wash of yellow, and this is like a drop or two of yellow with a load of water, and that I'll put a glaze over the top of all the skin, which tints the pink that's there to an orange, and it adds a yellow hue to the lighter skin tones. I then can now add in the final highlights, and this is the part that I think takes your skin tones over the top a little bit. And these are when you add a bit of white into your highest and brightest skin tone, and you put specular highlights across areas of the skin like the forehead, the elbows, the knees, things like that. It just helps to really give some more depth to that skin tone, and it makes it look a little bit more alive, in my opinion. I'm now going to put a satin varnish over everything, and this will protect it from any mistakes I make later on. But equally, I've felt recently that a satin varnish over the skin tones looks really nice on specific models. Now we're going to approach the next set of skin tones basically in the same way. Our idea is the same. We're trying to build up highlights, and as you can see, we're at the same point as what we were with Nami, but with Nami we just painted a solid base color, and with this one we have an undercoat. So we're going to try to keep in mind that there is an undercoat, and we're not going to overdo this. We don't want to cover up too much of that original pinky kind of mauve color that's left over from using paints over the top of the black, the red, which then has turned it into like a mauve kind of color, and then we put the other skin tone over the top of it, and you can see there's pink in here without even putting any orcish dermis. But now we can come back in and we can force areas that we maybe took over too much of the pink away, and we can add a little bit in, but also we can tint those areas left over a little bit more pinker, and this just really helps again with the believability of the skin tone itself. I think it's worth noting the timing in which I do things, and the fact that I've put the orcish dermis now is quite important, I think. And the reason that I do that is because subsequent layers over the top of this will overspray a little bit over the orcish dermis, and also you need to kind of put a little bit more orcish dermis than you want, because you're going to cut back into that, and this is what the next layers are going to be. And these layers are building up the highlights. Of course, you don't want just a load of pink all over your model, so we're going to control that by putting the next layers of paint on in very precise locations. We're going to thin our paint down, and also going to turn down the pressure on the airbrush so that we can focus this paint in very more precise areas. Basically the highlight areas, anything that's a bump, anything that's shaped like a circle or a sphere, should I say, because we're talking about 3D here. But basically think about a sphere. If you were to shade a sphere on a piece of paper, you would have a little highlight in one area and a shadow in the other, and you're wanting to leave the orcish dermis in those shadows. And it's very specific when it comes to this this really bright layer. This layer is the one that you are picking out cylinders and spheres and things like that, and you're focusing a tiny highlight, specular highlight in those areas. And once again, I will then put a varnish over the top of this skin tone, and now you can see what all of the skin tones look like next to each other. And that's pretty much it for this skin tone video. I hope you enjoyed this video. There is more to come with the series, and make sure, in fact, if you want any of these models, they are over on my Patreon, and they're available right now for this month. There's 2 weeks left at the time of recording this video to get them, but I'm sure they might make an appearance in a future welcome pack. Of course, if you were watching this video whilst on the toilet, make sure to wash your hands. Then after you've washed your hands, click the subscribe button and share this video with your gran. These are the names on the screen right now of the current Patreons who support this channel and help us keep the lights on blind in my eyeballs. And that's it from me. If you didn't like anything you saw in this video, well then, fuck off.